Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I am your host for today, Tasos Kilimos. Happy to welcome you guys back to Sunday Night Football NFL Best Bets here on the Guy Boston Sports YouTube channel. If you've been here before, if you watched these Sunday Night Football videos before, you notice something a little bit different, mainly the fact that I'm doing the video and not Ev today. Ev, unfortunately, not able to do the video today because of the holiday. He's out with family for Thanksgiving. He's the hardest working man in the world with what he does with this channel. He puts out like 15 to 20 videos a week. So I think we can cut him a little slack. He's still doing his NBA videos daily, which is unbelievable. So I think we can give him a little bit of break here, but I offered to take over the mantle of Sunday Night Football Best Bets for him while he was out. So got a few picks for you guys today. Sunday Night Football Ravens, Chargers. Actually should be a pretty good matchup on paper. This is a fantastic matchup. The Chargers, however, a little lackluster right now, but still a pretty good matchup nonetheless. So guys, let's get into it. And right off the bat, guys, I'm not going to think too much on it. I'm not going to think too hard on it, okay? I know it seems a little too easy, especially with the way that Baltimore's been playing lately. But give me the Ravens -3 on the spread. You know, it seems too easy. It seems a little bit like a trap, that -3 line, but I don't think so. I think the Ravens are what they are. I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender by any means. If you listen to any of our other videos, I'm not high on Baltimore when it comes to the playoffs, but in the regular season, there's no denying this is a good football team. And these are just two teams trending in the opposite directions, right? Baltimore, they're one of the best teams in the league. They're gunning for the 1 seed in the AFC. And then you look on the other side, you look at the Chargers. They're 4-6. Brandon Staley's seat has never been hotter, trending in the wrong direction, just fighting to survive for just the chance at a wild card spot. This Chargers team should be a lot better. They are crazily flawed. I just don't see where the Chargers are going to get anything here. I mean, defensively, they're one of the worst defensive teams in the National Football League, and that's when they had Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa now done for the year. Then their defense is only going to get worse, which I didn't think was possible before last week. Now it's only going to get worse. And so against one of the best offenses in the NFL, one of the top 5 scoring offenses in the National Football League, in the Baltimore Ravens, I just don't see where the Chargers are going to get anywhere close here. And listen, that's how football, that's how gambling is, right? Because it's a primetime game, I'm sure it'll be closer than most people would think. But regardless, I'm going to take Ravens -3. This is one of the best defenses in the NFL. Do I think it's a little bit overrated? Yeah, it's people who are comparing it to like the 2000s Ravens defense. It's a really good defense, especially a very good pass defense. I don't know if I would call them an all-time defense, but this is a really good defensive team. And offensively, you know, I have my gripes with Lamar in terms of him as a pocket passer, but the reality is they're the best rushing team in the NFL. You know, they average over 150 rushing yards a game. This team is fantastic, and Lamar, he knows how to pick his spots. He knows, you know, how to work in this Todd Monken offense. So give me the Ravens here -3. I just don't see how the Chargers cover or win this game. There's nothing good going for them. And even like defensively, they're horrible. Offensively, they're almost just as bad. Like I know they have injuries, right? No Mike Williams, Josh Palmer out, Corey Linsley, the center, out. Like they've got a slew of injuries, but so don't the Ravens, right? Mark Andrews out. You know, Odell's dinged up. Zay Flowers got a little dinged up. You know, they've got injuries too. You know, J.K. Dobbins out for the year. But they manage. The Chargers, I just feel like offensively, they're just stagnant. They don't really do much, considering what they have at quarterback, and they have a pretty solid offensive line, and Eckler and all these pieces, Keenan Allen. Their offense is really uninspiring, and then you look on the Ravens side of things, that pass defense is just unbelievable, so I can't imagine Justin Herbert having a massive day here. With that being said, I know primetime unders, they've been hitting at an alarmingly high rate this season. However, I'm going to give the over in this game 48.5. I just think Baltimore alone should be able to score like 24 points, 27 points. I mean, I know this is their first game without Mark Andrews, so it's a little bit like, oh, what's the offense going to look like? Odell's a little dinged up. Mark Andrews is out. Zay Flowers is a little dinged up. How is that offense going to work? The Chargers' weakness on defense is their pass defense. So if you're going to beat the Chargers, you're throwing on them, right? Not that they have a great run defense, but they're solid against the run. We'll see how that looks like now with Bosa out. But you're going to have to throw on them, so that's the only thing with Baltimore. But like Baltimore should be able to score at least 24, 27 points, and then the Chargers are going to be able to put up 14. I think this game honestly could very well end up being Baltimore 28-21 or 28-24. You know, the Chargers will, I think, keep it somehow close. This is it. Like, if the Chargers lose this game, their season's over. So I can see the Chargers kind of hanging around a little bit and keeping this close enough where the over is a good play. It could go a lot of different ways. And it could be a blow. It could be like Baltimore 33-21, that kind of thing. I just think I like the over here, 48.5. When you have two-star quarterbacks like this going head-to-head. Now, I know on prime time it doesn't necessarily mean anything, right? Remember that Eagles-Chiefs game last week. Unbelievably, not really the greatest offensive performance you've ever seen from two of the best offenses in the league. But I do like the over here. And if you want a number that makes you feel a little bit better, the over has hit in 4 of the last 5 games for the Ravens. And on the Chargers side, they have been on a streak of covering unders. 4 of the last 5 games have hit the under. However, they have come like a point or two shy of the over every single one of those games. I feel like Baltimore offensively is the kind, and they haven't really played the hottest of offenses, right? I think Baltimore is the kind of offense that will be able to put up enough points. And the Chargers, again, Justin Herbert's a good enough quarterback where even against this Ravens defense, I expect him to score at least a couple of touchdowns. All right, guys, so there's 2 picks there. I'm going to move on here. Now, I'm going to end the show with a same-game parlay to give you guys, but I do have an anytime touchdown score prop to give you. Now, look, I know there's not going to be a ton of value in terms of the odds, but I'm really confident it's going to hit. He's on a hot streak right now. Give me Gus Edwards, anytime touchdown score, -110 odds. Gus Edwards has scored a touchdown in each of his last 5 games, and in 3 of his last 5 games, he scored multiple touchdowns. So I don't think it's crazy to assume this. The Chargers do have given up 12 rushing touchdowns against opposing teams this season, which is actually higher up in the league. So I could see Gus Edwards punching it in at least once, maybe even twice against this Chargers team. So I know the odds not great, -110, but I'm trying to give you guys winners. I do think this is a winner. So Gus Edwards, -110 odds, anytime touchdown score. One more player prop I also want to give you guys before I get into the same game parlay. Now, this is separate. This is not a part of the same game parlay. This is separate on the side to that same game parlay. I'm going to get Zay Flowers over 63.5 receiving yards. Now, you can get this at -114 odds, and I'll be honest, it is a little bit risky here, right? He's only covered this in 3 of his last 3 games this season for the Baltimore Ravens as a rookie. However, he has been covering it more recently. And I just think the matchup here, this is a Chargers team that gives up a ton of points and a ton of yards to passing offenses. And I do think Baltimore, not that they're not going to be able to run it all on their Chargers, I do think they're going to force Lamar to throw because that's kind of the Ravens, not their strength, right? Their strength is their running game. I think the Chargers will be able to push them to throw the ball. But I do think this is a Chargers defense that can't defend the pass. And so I do think that Baltimore will take advantage of that. With Odell being dinged up, with Mark Andrews being out, Zay Flowers, I think now all of a sudden might become the number 1, if not the number 2 option in this passing offense. So I could see him getting a ton of looks, a ton of reps and touches today against the Chargers. So I do like this spot here, over 63.5 receiving yards. Again, -114 odds. And all right, guys, a little same game parlay to wrap up the show. Let's do it. And just to let you guys know, I did use DraftKings for this same game parlay, and there is a promotion they're running right now. You get a profit boost, I believe. So we have a 3-leg parlay here. You get a 20% profit boost when you opt in. If you add more legs, you obviously get more percentage, but we have a 3-leg parlay here, 20% profit boost, which will make the odds a little spicier here. So starting off, I have Isaiah Likely over 2.5 receptions. Now, there isn't a ton of patterns and trends in terms of analytics to prove why I like this. But the reality is that Mark Andrews is out. Lamar Jackson loves throwing to the tight end position. He is now tight end 1. It's very simple. This is not a good Chargers pass defense. I very much could see Isaiah Likely 3 catches. That's all we need for Isaiah Likely. Over 2.5 receptions. That's the first leg of the parlay. For the second leg, we are going with a defensive player prop. Yeah, kind of a rare one, but I like my defensive player props. I feel like sometimes they can tip the scales to make the odds a little bit better on your parlays, and they're pretty comfortably hitting here. We're going to go with Asante Samuel Jr. over 2.5 tackles plus assists. Now, he has not hit this in each of his last 2 games. However, in his previous 7 games, he didn't just hit this, he blew through it. 6 tackles and assists, 6 tackles and assists. Kept going, 5, 4, 3, 6. I mean, he hit it 7 weeks in a row. Last 2 weeks, he hasn't hit it. I'm not worried about it. I'm not pushed away. -166 odds if you do same game parlay on DraftKings. Over 2.5 tackles plus assists. I like the spot here. I know the last couple weeks he hasn't hit it. That doesn't push me away from it. Overall, he's been hitting it at like a 70% rate this season. 70% rate exactly actually this season. So pretty good spot here for Asante Samuel Jr. And then my final leg on my 3-leg parlay, it is an alternate rushing yards. So it's Gus Edwards to get 40 or more rushing yards. It's the third and final leg. It's an alternate rushing yard line for Gus Edwards. I think 40 rushing yards for Gus Edwards. I think his actual line is like 48.5. We brought it down to 40, a little safer. I like 40 yards. I know the Chargers' run defense isn't horrible, but the Ravens are still going to run the football. I can see Gus Edwards getting 40 yards on this Chargers team. So when you put those 3 legs of that parlay together, you get odds of plus 340. However, when you put that 20% profit boost that I mentioned on your picks, you get plus 4. That's right, plus 408 are the odds there on our 3-leg parlay. So, guys, that is it for me today. Sunday Night Football Best Bets. Shout out to Ev for allowing me to step in and help him out. I'll also be doing the Monday Night Football Best Bets video. That will be coming out later on. Guys, thank you very much. If you don't know me, I have videos all on Guy Boston Sports. I do college football picks. I do daily NBA player prop parlays. I'm on H2H with Eb. I have a ton of stuff coming out here on the channel. Make sure to check it all out. Make sure to like and subscribe. Appreciate you guys. Any feedback, comments, always love it. Make sure to sound off in the comments anything you want. We do have our Black Friday and slash Cyber Weekend sale going on for the Fade Me brand. I'm not wearing it right now just because I'm actually going to Patriots Giants in New Jersey. So I got my Pats gear on. Recording this real quick, getting it uploaded before I go. But Fade Me, tons of offers, tons of great merch on there. We got sales going on all weekend long, so make sure to go check that out. Link in the description below. Guys, thank you very much, and until next time, I hope you're all winners.